Hi, this is Justin from Vasco. In today's video, I'm super excited to talk to you about the bowtie framework, how it can be used to build your plan and then track actuals, and more importantly, how it can help you prioritize action items. Let's jump in. So as you know, with the bowtie framework, you're breaking down the customer journey into various stages. Within each stage, you'll have the volume metric, so the input, then the conversion rate to the following stage. And you'll also consider the time and stage. The idea here is that if you're building out your plan using all of these metrics and broken down by customer journey, using the conversion rates and the volume metrics, you'll be able to then track the actuals relative to this plan. And when there is a gap or a difference between the actual and the forecast, we'll be able to attribute a dollar value impact to that gap. What I mean is if you're, let's say, off by 5% on a given conversion rate, and we assume that all other variables remain the same, we'll be able to attribute a dollar value impact to that 5% gap. If we look at all the drivers that make up your plan, we can then assess these drivers and state which ones need to be prioritized based on the dollar value impact of each of these. Take that a step further and break it down by channel. All of a sudden, you'll be able to know where the gaps are specific to a channel and where you need to focus with the given leaders. Let's take a look at a real life example. Here we're looking at the bowtie, where we see the customer journey from lead to expansion and retention. We can see the achievement at all these stages, and clearly there's a miss at the closing and onboarding stage. So let's drill down into the closing stage. And what we've done is that we identify the drivers that make up that metric that corresponds to that stage. So here we had a forecast of 60K of revenue while we only brought in 8.4K. And we can then see the breakdown on the right hand side where we have the forecast at 60K. We can see that we overachieved on the volume of SALs for an AR impact of 9.1K. We can then see the conversion rate was fairly flat. However, the largest impact by far is that AR per customer one, which led to a 53K of lost revenue, again, assuming that all other variables remain the same. What you'll want to do at this stage is drill down even further and understand that AR per customer one, that was a 53K lost revenue. What channel is that coming from, right? So I'll break that down and see, looking at all the channels, inbound marketing is the suspect in terms of what's driving the largest amount of drop in AR per customer one. So that will instill a conversation with the marketing leaders and understand what can be done in terms of either driving leads that convert at a higher amount, or it's a question in terms of forecasts and what you expect from that specific channel. While that's drilling down into the stage that performed the worst, maybe there's a driver that performed not so well that is maybe causing a bit larger impact, right? Maybe just looking at one stage is not telling the whole story. So what you'll want to do is look at all drivers across the whole customer journey and then stack rank them. And here I can clearly see that actually that AR per customer one is not the biggest issue. While it's still a very high AR impact, our lead to MQL conversion rate is actually a larger issue, causing 55K of lost revenue. So again, what we'll want to do further is drill down into that conversion rate of lead to MQL. And we can then see that we converted those leads at a conversion rate of 8% versus the plan that was just under 35%. Again, we'll want to drill that down and again see that inbound marketing is the suspect, and you'll want to then address this issue and understand that while the value of these leads are not closing at the expected rate, there's also a larger issue that is the conversion of those leads to MQLs. So again, really giving you an idea in terms of where to steer the conversation on topics that will actually drive impact, as opposed to knowing that there's issues, but not necessarily knowing what is causing the biggest leakage. We hope this was helpful. We're strong believers that building out your plan in the same way you measure your actuals is a true advantage to then stack ranking each driver that then makes up that plan and allowing you to prioritize the action items in your day-to-day. If you'd like to learn more about how we've operationalized the bowtie and how we even take things a step further, we'd love to hear from you and gather your thoughts and insights.